Hello, 6th grade social studies students. This is Ms. Tolman. We're reading through our lessons. This week we are on Unit 8. Woohoo! It's Cultural Empires and Government. We are in our Lesson 1, African Empires. We do have some vocabulary today, so it is a good idea to grab your notebook and have it ready to go so that you have this vocabulary with you for not only the questions to follow, but for any upcoming tests or quizzes or midterms or anything like that that you may have coming up. We do have just 4 pieces of vocabulary today. Bantu, which is a group of languages spoken in Africa. It means people. Clan, it's a group of people with a common ancestor. Oral tradition is passing down of history by word of mouth or through stories. Savanna is grasslands located in regions with warm climates. You do have a couple of these people you need to know. Mansa Musa is a famous ruler from the Mali Empire in West Africa, remembered for his pilgrimage to Mecca and for generous contributions to learning. As we've learned, the continent of Africa is more than 3 times as large as the United States. Thus, people have often lived far apart in small tribes. However, during the Middle Ages, several empires developed on the continent. These empires included the Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. The Ghana Empire. The Ghana Empire was located in western Africa, south of the Sahara, along the Niger River. It flourished from 750 to 1070. Ghana was the first of 3 powerful civilizations to prosper from the trade of gold, ivory, and salt in western Africa. Not much is known about the origins of the Ghana people. However, it's believed that their contact with the Berbers played a significant part in their rise to prominence. The Berbers were a nomadic people from North Africa. During the 7th century, North Africa came under Islamic control. The Berbers converted to Islam. They also learned how to use camels from the Muslim traders. The Berbers began trading with the Ghanaians across the Sahara. The Berbers traded salt and cloth for gold and slaves. The abundance of gold made the Berbers and rulers of Ghana wealthy. Mali. In 1076, the Ghana Empire fell to the Berbers. Its land and people were converted to Islam and shaped into the Mali Empire. The Mali Empire dominated West Africa from 1250 to 1500. Its most famous leader was Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa undertook the extravagant Hajj to Mecca. Musa took with him over 30,000 pounds of gold and nearly 5,000 slaves and attendants. On his journey, Musa stopped in Cairo, Egypt. Musa spent his gold freely. This established the kingdom's reputation as one of the richest in the world. While in Mecca, Musa purchased many Islamic and Arabic books. They established a library in the central Mali trading city of Timbuktu. Scholars traveled to Mali to visit the library. Musa also brought back with him Arab architects. The architects built mosques and a royal place for Musa. Musa's importation of Arabic culture had great impact on the religion. The Songhai Empire. The Songhai Empire was the 3rd great civilization to emerge from the West Africa. Songhai, like Mali, was also ruled by Muslims. Of the 3 empires, it controlled the largest portion of West Africa, stretching from the Atlantic Ocean to Lake Chad. The most significant ruler of the Songhai Empire was Muhammad Tur. Under his rule, Songhai prospered and enjoyed a period of peace. However, not long after the Tur's reign, the empire fell to the Moroccans. Eventually, West Africa was divided into many small kingdoms. The Bantu of East Africa. Africa's east coast was visited by traders from Egypt, Arabia, and India. During the time of the Roman Empire, busy trading posts developed into cities. By 1500, seaside cities such as Kilwa and Mogadishu were recognized as desirable and beautiful places to live. The influence of the Arabian traders influenced the culture of East Africa. The architecture was of Arabic design. The language Swahili is a combination of Bantu and Arabic. Swahili is also a term used to describe the culture of East Africa. Bantu means people in many ancient African dialects. It's the name given to the African languages spoken by the peoples from Central, Eastern, and Southern Africa. It is believed that the Bantu speaking peoples in the east and south migrated from Central Africa in 1000 BC. Great Zimbabwe. Some Bantu migrated south. However, the people lived in clans and small villages until 1200. One of the first cities to emerge was Great Zimbabwe, around 1350. It was a large city of stone buildings built on the savannah near the Zambezi River. It also prospered greatly from the gold trade out of East Africa. So we have the Berbers, the Songhai, here's Ghana, here's Mali, the Bantu, and where they went. Here's Mogadishu, here's Arabian Peninsula, Kilwa, here's Great Zimbabwe. African society. African families were led by men in a patriarchal society. Families lived together as independent clans. Some rarely interacted with other clans in Africa's vast spaces. However, in case of catastrophe, its leaders might seek help of another clan related to it by blood. Areas with larger populations were ruled by a king. A king's purpose was to function as a protector, peacekeeper, and judge. The king would settle every dispute. Since there was no written law, the king's opinion was considered law. In some early African societies, it was important that the king never appear weak in public. As the leader of people, he was the symbol of strength. Therefore, a king was not permitted to die of old age or sickness. If he did not willingly commit suicide, he was killed by a court official. Some African legends testify that parts of Africa at some point were ruled by queens. However, generally women were valued for their roles as wives and mothers. Girls were taught how to work in the home, and this usually led to learning how to maintain a garden. Polygamy was widely practiced. However, in many societies, family lines were traced through the mother. Slavery was an accepted part of African empire economies. Africans enslaved other Africans before there was a demand from other nations, such as Greece, Rome, and Arabia. Slaves were often traded for items such as grains and cloth. All right, moving on to religion in early Africa. What is known about African religion comes to us through myths, oral traditions, and artwork. However, almost every early African religion was monotheistic. God was seen as the giver of life and rain. The Zulu of the South Africa still call God Unkulunkulu, meaning he who is of himself, the self-existent one. And I butchered that name, and I apologize. Burial practices reflected a strong belief in spiritual world after death. Special belongings, food, and even servants were buried with the dead. Spirits from the spiritual world might be ancestors or past heroes. They were believed to embody physical objects such as lakes, storms, animals, and people. In some societies, prayers and sacrifices were offered to spirits. If ignored, the spirits could be angered and harm those in the physical world. Often spiritual power was seen as something to be controlled. People known today as witch doctors were consulted as fortune tellers and healers. They were also asked to pronounce curses on people who acted wrongly. Fear of curses helped to keep people from stealing, lying, and other immoral behavior. Christianity and Islam had a strong impact on the cultures of early Africa. Even today, most Africans claim to be either Christian or Muslim. However, traditional African religion practices were never completely abandoned. Elements of ancestor or spirit worship were combined with the new beliefs. African art. God was known as the unseen one, the unknown one. Therefore, there are no depictions of God in African art. However, early African art had all religious themes. Africans produced many types of art forms. One form is wood carving, and particularly masks. The wooden masks were worn by people hoping to communicate with the spiritual world. As well, also as well known are African bronze sculptures. They were mostly from Benin and West Africa. These sculptures depict animals and scenes from court life. While crafted with a high degree of artistic ability, the sculptures are not realistic. This is a common characteristic of African art. And then we have our questions, and this section is done for you. So these questions can be answered by using your notes. You can scroll back up. You could even follow along with the video with another tab open that is your questions. And you can kind of answer them as you go. These are all resources you can use. So just chucking that one out there. You're doing an amazing job, guaranteed. All right. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.